I think I'm trying to rant today. I'm gonna take you guys on a trip down memory lane. Now, for those of you who don't know, I used to live in New York City from like 2014 to about 2016. I attended college there, New York Film Academy. I mean, me, myself, personally, looking back on it, was I ready to move out? Not necessarily, but I'm happy I did because there's a lot of things that I have learned, and I would definitely like to share some of that stuff with you because this kind of ties into, like, you know, the quote-unquote rant that, you know, I'm kind of feeling today. You know, this previous weekend we were actually supposed to be filming something for my web series Everybody Loves Those Boys, and we didn't really get everything that we wanted to get handled because you know, there were people that dropped out last minute. And, you know, it kind of was an inconvenience to all of us. I'm not about to throw anybody underneath the bus, but after that weekend happened, I feel like I should make this video and talk about my experience in New York to help give some perspective to everybody. I've been doing this stuff since like 16 years old, and so I'm not a stranger to having people just bail on me, you know what I'm saying, when it comes time to record. Sometimes folks will tell you literally the day you're filming, or sometimes they just won't tell you at all, and you'll just have to find out, oh, they're not showing up and they're not answering their phone, and oh, what's this? Oh yeah, they blocked me on Facebook. Isn't that nice? So this is the time that I auditioned for a show on ABC. So this was around shortly after I graduated my first year of the New York Film Academy. Basically how like the program was, there was a 1-year program and there's a 2-year program. So I was doing the 1-year program. If you did the 2-year program, you would have to spend 1 year in New York and another year in California. Side note, the New York Film Academy, just because it's called that, they have schools all over, you know what I'm saying, all over the world. So there's one in New York, there's one in California. I believe there was one in like Australia and stuff like that. So, but for this particular program, you know, if you wanted to finish it completely, then it would be 1 year in New York, 1 year in California, or 1 year in California, 1 year in New York. I don't know why they did that. They just did it. That was the curriculum. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like, okay, well, you know, even though both are pricey, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like I could probably, you know, get around a little bit better here in New York. Graduation was in February of 2015. And I remember taking an acting class. It was around, oh goodness, April, May, around that time. And, just to perfect the skills. So I was invited to this thing called the Monologue Slam. Basically how it goes is you would have actors on stage and they would perform monologues in front of, you know, a bunch of casting directors, executives, talent coordinators, talent agencies, and stuff like that. I wasn't performing, but I still felt like I'm going to try and I'm going to talk to some of these executives. And so there was one particular person that I saw. It was this lady, I forgot her name, but I handed her my card. I said, hi, my name is David, and, you know, so on and so forth. Here's my card. You know, I'm an actor, da-da-da, so, you know, hope to hear from you. You know, and so we went our separate ways. Didn't really think too much about it, right? But then the next day, I got an email from the same person that was asking me to come in to the ABC studios, because I found out at that point that she worked for ABC. Like, I knew she was a casting director, but I didn't know, like, who exactly she was with. She invited me to come to the studio and read for a part for this show that they were currently developing called Broad Squad. Broad Squad, yeah, that's the name. It's quite the name. Basically, the premise of the show was like, it was like the first female police unit in the 70s, I believe, in New York City. And it was 3 white women, 1 black woman, and I was supposed to play the brother to the black woman, and I was supposed to be this, like, you know, like Malcolm X, Louis Farrakhan, freaking Nick Cannon on steroids type. Like, I was supposed to be like, you know, woke brother. Basically, in the email, they were saying what they were looking for. They were looking for a young African-American male to fit this role, and they offered me a chance to read for the part. So in my mind, I was thinking, yo, I got this part. I got it in the freaking bag, man. Like, this is it right here. This is my big break. I go up to ABC. I am like 10 minutes early. I'm sitting there. I think I'm the first one there, honestly. And so I'm excited. I'm sitting there, I'm kind of like, listening to my music, getting myself ready and hyped up. So then I noticed that there were more people that were coming into the audition. There was one particular dude. I refer to this guy as Idris. He wasn't Idris Elba, but he might as well be, because like this dude was dark skinned, handsome, and like every single person there was like flustered around this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like the woman who was like helping out with the casting, like she came up to him, smiled this wide like she was the Joker. She was smiling like from ear to ear, dog. She was like, "Hi, did you find the building okay? You know what I'm saying? Did you have any questions? Would you like a glass of water? Do you want anything to drink? Do you have any questions about the script? My name is Sally, just in case you have any questions." And then she turned and looked at me and was just like, "You ready?" I was like, "Oh, well dang." I want to be talked to like that. Nobody freaking offered me any water. Besides the point. So I go in there, I do my audition. Me myself personally, I think I did a freaking awesome job. But I mean, I don't know, maybe I didn't. But I had a long conversation with the casting director, and we talked about, acting and the craft of acting and what it is exactly that I see myself doing. We split ways, and I never really heard from them since. Obviously, because the show was actually casted and they shot the show, but it didn't get picked up. I'm assuming ABC, they passed on it. So Bride Squad never happened. So why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this to say that with me learning about this casting and going to this casting, I realized in that moment that the world is a lot bigger than I think it is. Everybody has a dream. Everybody has a dream. Everybody has a goal, has an aspiration. Everybody has something that they want to do with their life. And it is 100% possible for everything that everyone wants to accomplish to happen. Because folks, they like to sit up here and talk about, not every dream is meant to happen, or not every dream comes true. I don't believe that. I feel like a person's dreams can come true. First off, it just depends on, number one, what do you consider a win? What do you consider success? And number two, it comes down to like your work ethic. That like, hey man, listen, when they said that they wanted African American, listen, there are people shorter than me. There were people lighter than me. There are people darker than me. Everything that everything that you can imagine was sitting in that room. Even though I should have seen this coming, because they told us about this in film school. It's one thing to hear about it, it's another thing to actually experience it. And so when I experienced it, I realized that I have to put in a certain amount of work in order to get my stuff and to get my face recognized. Because I think the problem comes down to this. A lot of folks are in love with the idea of success, but they do not want to work for success. I've heard a lot of people say stuff like, "Oh yeah, I've always wanted to do this, and I've always wanted to be an actor. I've always wanted to be a rapper, and I've always wanted to do X, Y, Z, and this, that, and the third." And normally it's connected to this very shallow pipe dream of, oh, I want to buy my mama a house. I want to buy a nice car. I want to move out the hood. I want to do all this other stuff. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. You have to dig a little bit deeper for what it is that you desire. Like a lot of folks, that I've met along my path, they said that they want to do that, but then it's just like, they shortly get weeded out because they realize how difficult and how much work it takes to get yourself to this position. And the funny thing about it is it's like folks act like it's only like that when it comes to actors, or it's only like that when it comes to musicians or stuff like that. Ignoring the fact that freaking a surgeon has to literally go through school for almost 10 years. Anything that you are going to do is going to require some amount of work. You run into people who don't see it that way. They only look at it from one perspective and one perspective only. The end game. Like at the finish line. Like, oh, look at me. I got, I got LeBron James money. Yeah, well, LeBron James also woke up like every single morning at 4 a.m. to do like workouts. We are not as special as we think we are. Until we're on that level like a Denzel Washington, we have to come with it when it comes to everything that we do. Because they can replace us just like that. Because, newsflash, you're not the only person in the world that has a dream. And that came into what happened this weekend with this person bailing on us last minute for, just for whatever. I've heard enough stories about people who said they always wanted to do this and they always wanted to do that. And honestly, nowadays, I'm just kind of like, okay, we'll see. So, I say all that to say, let's get to work.